So what you must be noticing, there are two species of flamingos that come to Mumbai creeks. The first one is the lesser flamingo, and the second one is the greater flamingo. The one in front of us, right in front of us, are most all of them are greater flamingos. How to identify the greater flamingo? Three characteristics. Number one is the neck, okay, and the body size. The neck of the greater flamingo is very long, okay, and the body also is very big. It's a huge bird. Plus, the second thing is the beak. Look at the beak color of the greater flamingo. It is more rosy pink in color. Yeah, and the tip will be a little blackish. That is the second part. The third thing is that their coloration is completely white. Right? They're absolutely white birds. So that is the third characteristic. So this is how you identify a greater flamingo. The lesser flamingo, which is at the back side, which is more pinkish. Can we see all the birds that are more pink in color? But they are smaller in size. That's why the name lesser flamingo. So three things again, the same characteristics. How they are different. The neck of the lesser is smaller. The beak color of the lesser flamingo is more darker in color, and the coloration, they are more pinkish. Now why is there a color difference between the two species? Is because of their diet. They both have a different diet. The lesser flamingo primarily feeds on algae, okay, a very specific kind of an algae that the both birds feed. But lesser flamingo's diet comprises 80 to 90% of the algae, okay. The 10% is of the crustaceans, that are the shellfishes. The greater flamingo's diet is a mixed diet, 50-50 diet. So they have algae and crustaceans both. Okay. So that is why the color different, because the algae is what gives them the color. It's a specific algae called blue-green algae, which is also from the family of phytoplankton. Okay. Now why are they here? When do they come here? They come here in the month of end of November, when they are here until this June midweek. Okay, second week of June. And why are they here is because of food. Their only purpose for migration is food. So the algae that I'm talking about is in abundance on the Mumbai creeks, especially in this region. What is the reason for this abundance? Anybody? Any guesses?
The pollution?
Wow. Hang on. Bullseye.
Yeah, this is here.
Bullseye. No, climate is not. So the algae needs phosphate, sulfur, and nitrate to grow. Okay, that is the main ingredient for the algae. We can say that way. So this is what they need to grow, and that is there in the environment naturally. But their growth happens slowly. But if there is something that is in the water with high amount of phosphate, sulfur, and nitrate, the algal growth gets faster. That means if you've seen, there was a canal next to the main road that you were coming in. Yeah, there was a canal kind of a thing next to the main road, right? So that canal is nothing but the sewage outlet of the Mumbai city. Okay, the suburban Mumbai, all the sewage from the suburban Mumbai comes to this place called Bhanduk pumping station, where you entered from, right? And there was a construction work going on. So that is the sewage treatment plant, the STP. So all the sewage from Mumbai suburbs come to that region, and it is treated and then released into this creek. This is the main creek. You are right now in the creek. This is the Airoli region of the creek. The expanse of this creek is Thane Creek. So it's all released into the creek, and it is high in sulfur, nitrate, and phosphate, as well as ammonia and urea, because there is chemical waste as well as domestic waste. Because there are a lot of chemical industries around here, and a lot of industries actually around here. So all that waste in turn is helping the algae grow very fast. It's actually 40x faster than the normal growth. So that means more the sewage, more the algae, more food for the birds, and more food and more birds can flourish here. That is the circle and the link between the birds and the. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, it's not a good sign that the flamingos are here, because they're here for the wrong reasons.
Is there any ill effects of eating this fast grown algae?
No, nothing so far.
And what are these small birds?
Those birds are called little skinks or lesser sandflowers. There are two species, mixed species always. And there are in huge numbers. There will be huge numbers on the. If you notice, these birds are all walking in the same direction. see all the entire flock is walking in that direction and together. Now what
Hmm.
they're doing is dabbing the floor. They're dabbing the floor so that whatever is underground pops up. And
Okay.
then they'll turn around and feed the other way.
Oh.
Now again coming to feeding, flamingos have a very unique way of feeding. Look at the birds on the right there that are feeding right now. Okay. This bird or animal is the only bird that feeds with their head upside down, meaning their head is completely down like this.
Hmm.
So no bird or animal feeds in such a manner. This is the only bird that feeds because their mandible, which is the beak, is downward curved like this. Okay, and it's like a hollow thing. So when they put their head upside down, it acts as a ladle, like a spoon. And when they see they are dragging it on the ground, they drag it on the ground slowly. So everything gets collected into the spoon in that beak, the mandible of theirs, and when they lift it up, the algae and the crustaceans, small shellfishes, get stuck to the hair-like structure within the beak, and there are small pores near the beak, which filters the rest of the waste and water out.
So the
This is called
the
filter
algae
feeding.
is in the water, not in the
No, it's
sand,
on the
or
it's on the
it's
ground.
on the ground.
It's on the mud flats. Now, why is this place called Flamingo Sanctuary? It could have
Yeah.
been called Bird Sanctuary because this place has over 230 plus species of birds.
Hmm.
That's a big number because India's bird census is 1410. That is the bird count of India. That's how many species are found in India. So out of that, 230 species in a very small area is a big number. But it could have been a bird sanctuary because that's a big number for birds. But it's still called the Flamingo Sanctuary not because they are big in numbers in terms of their population, not because of that, but because they play a very key role, an important role in conserving this entire ecosystem. Now, what happens if I take this out? Let's say hypothetically, I take the flamingo out of the equation. Like it's not there in this ecosystem. They don't come here. They don't feed on the algae. The algae will keep on growing. It is not going to stop because the sewage is not going to stop anytime, right? So the algal growth will completely cover up the landmass, the mud flats. If you have seen a place where algae grows and it's not, the chain is not broken, it will cover up the entire landmass in a very less time, right? So that chain needs to be broken. Okay, so the he's talking so loudly.
Hmm.
आरामात करो. Okay, my chain breaks. So yeah, so the algae will cover the entire landmass, and slowly it will come near the water areas. It will start covering the water regions. Okay, and of course this will take some time, but this will happen if the algae chain in the algae growth is not broken down somewhere. So what happens if this is happening on a continuous basis? The penetration of sun will stop. The oxygen. It's okay. It's just the ripple of that. The penetration of the sun will stop and the oxygen level will start going down into the water, inside the water, which will affect the marine life. Okay, so anyway the marine life is affected by the sewage
Sure.
water here, so there is hardly any fishes out here. Okay, so it will completely be destroyed. And ma'am, so it will affect the marine life. The marine life will eventually affect the mangroves. Okay, that will be the next thing that will be affected because they both have a correlation. The marine sea water and the mangroves have a correlation, interdependent to each other. Okay, and they will be affected. And once the mangroves is affected, it is destroyed. The city will be in a very big danger, a fatal danger. नवीन माणूस आहे का boat चालू? त्याला एक माणूस धरला पाहिजे घाबरतो बघा.